Hey, what is up guys, it's Galaxy Tech Dark Lord here, coming to you guys today with a new scrap deck profile for this current format. So, I think this is more of a fun build, so I'm going to post another build later as well, which is a more competitive build, but this one, this is a Scrap Quasar build. It does have a capacity to run Quasar Dragon, so, so I'm going to get right into the deck profile. Apologies if my presenting of the cards is a bit slower, because I only actually have one active hand at the moment because I managed to damage a tendon. Also, I may not be able to upload profiles in quite some time because I actually have exams coming up very soon. My final A-level exams. So yeah. So I'll get straight into that. So for the monsters, I'm running one copy of Scrap Orthros because it's really cloggy. And it is really good, just drawing it too much is not great, especially if it's no use in your hand. Then I play 3 copies of Scrap Chimera because, well, it's your monster reborn of the deck, it's your 1 card Scrap Dragon play. Then 3 copies of Scrap Beast because it's your main go-to tuner. Running 2 copies of Scrap Golem because this is your wolf bark, basically. It's also really good. 3 is really cloggy, and it's really good to play this with your Scrap Factory because it basically just takes out the need to tribute stuff. And then I'm running 1 Scrap Shark because I just prefer this to Scrap Kong because this can remain on the field, and if they activate anything, then this goes. Whereas Scrap Kong just blows up as soon as it hits the field. And if you don't have this on the field, then it's just useless. So yeah, and then 1 copy of Scrap Goblin just because it can stall, and you can also push for OTKs with this by using Scrap Golem and summoning this in attack mode on your opponent's side of the field. So yeah, that rounds up the Scrap monsters. I'm then running 2 copies of Summoner Monk for speed. I'm running 2 Effect Veilers for jamming purposes, I guess, and also because it's a level 1 tuner. And then I'm running 1 Glow Up Bulb and 1 Dandylion just for your more kind of plant synchro-y plays. So your Hyper Librarian, your Armades, and your Formula Synchron. So for the spells, I'm running a standard lineup of Scrap spell cards, so that's 3 copies of Scrap Factory. I'm pretty sure everyone knows what this does. 3 copies of Scrapyard, and 3 copies of Scrapstorm. I'm then running a further 3 copies of MST, we all know why. Then I'm running 1 copy of Foolish Burial, 1 copy of 1 for 1, and 1 copy of Book of Moon for your Ginlock out. I really need to get my hands on a Regeki, I know, but I just don't have the time to get one, or the money, or the funds to get one that are not better spent on other things in life. So yeah. And then for the traps, I'm running 2 copies of Breakthrough Skill, yet again the same purpose as Effect Veiler, to jam up your opponent's plays. I'm then running 2-Dimensional Prison. I'm debating Mirror Force over this just because the power creep, I mean, there's a lot of floaters in the game like Burning Abyss, but I do think Mirror Force would probably be better than this, but this card does take them out of the game, basically. And then for the one-offs, I'm playing 1 copy of Starlight Road because, when your opponent's running Regeki and Mirror Force and you have a really established field, I mean, I do run Stardust, so this does make your worth it does make it worthwhile. I'm then running 1 copy of Vanity's Emptiness, 1 copy of Compulsory Evacuation Device, and 1 copy of Bottomless Trap Hole. So then for the extra deck, playing 2 copies of Scrap Dragon because I didn't have room for a third. I get because of the sort of deck this is. It's quite fun, this deck, and I'd never really find myself going into a third. And then I'm running 2 copies of Scrap Twin Dragon for the same reason. I'm actually also playing 1 copy of Atomic Scrap Dragon because you may find a lot of cards in your opponent's graveyard you don't want in their graveyard. And while I really wanted this card when it originally came out to remove from play cards instead, taking cards out of your opponent's graveyard and putting them back in the deck not only makes your opponent's deck actually adds cards to your opponent's deck, it also means that if they're in the graveyard and they cause a threat there, then you can take them out. So if Necro's Kaleidoscope or Djinn Demolisher of Rituals, which is used for Djinn Lock, or anything like threatening like that, then you can just take it out of the game, well, temporarily, by putting it back in their deck. They then have to go to extra measures to put it back in the graveyard. Then one copy of Scrap Archfiend, just in case you have, well, because it's really the only viable level 7 that you have that you can make with this. So then, generic synchros. I'm playing one copy of Formula Synchron and one Armades and one Hyper Librarian for your synchro plays. Well, to make your Quasar. And then I'm running one Goyo for your level 6, because we have some level 1 tuners in this, so you can easily make it with Scrap Golem. Got one copy of Stardust Dragon for your Starlight Road play, and because it is possible to make it, it's another level 8 other than Scrap Dragon. And then finally one Quasar Dragon, because, you know, Armades and these 3 synchros. And then I'm playing a couple of Xyz monsters in the form of one Lavolval Chain, one Exciton Knight, and one Silent Honor Arc. I don't have a Castell, so it will just have to be a Silent Honor Arc for the time being. So yeah, that is the end of the deck profile, guys. Hope you like it. I'll do another one later on when I have time. So yeah, thank you for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Peace out.